And I can't wait so we can break apart the hit me if I seem a little unimpressed with this. An antisocial pessimist, but usually I don't mess with this.
Hello, and today I'm going to be showing you how to install Forge for Minecraft 1.15. Now, what you can do is you can follow along with any version that you want to load up Forge with. It doesn't matter what version you're using as long as you've got the latest launcher. Okay, so first things what I usually do is make sure that everything's got a clean installation and I can have no issues when I'm installing Forge. Okay, so first things I do, obviously, load up your launcher, log in, and then go to settings in the bottom left. I always do this whenever I load up Forge or want to do a new playthrough on Minecraft. I'll always go into settings and tick this button. Now this button allows you to keep the launcher open while the game's running. So basically every time I click play, this launcher will always stay open in the background while the game's loading. So if I want to test anything, I can always go back on myself and I don't have to keep launching the launcher every single time I want to go through. Okay, so first things I want to do, once I've ticked that button, I go into installations. Now I've only got two profiles. This one is default. Pardon me, you can't delete that. And if you click a new if you make a new profile, you can always delete it if you make a mistake or you want to edit it. You can always do it that way. So I'll click new profile. Doesn't matter about what icon you want. So for this example, I'm going to put gold black. Click the name that I want. So I'm going to call this 1.15.2 test. So that's an example for the video. I'll click the version. So version 1.15.2, and then I'll click game directory. Now what that'll do is that'll basically direct you to where the game is located. So in this case it's your computer name. So for example, this is Chris Peters. I'm not actually Chris Peters, but anyway, that's just what I've called my computer. Okay, so then once you've done that, you go to Roman Minecraft, which is exactly where your thing is, where your game's located, and that'll bring you to where all your files are located. And I'll show you another way of how to get there. So I want to make a new profile with a new folder. So once I've clicked .minecraft, click make new folder, and I want to call it, I usually call it whatever I've called it here. So for example, this is 1.15.2 test, because this way you know exactly where your new profile is and what folder your games and your mods and everything is stored in. So I want to call this 1.15.2 test. Click enter on that. So that makes a new folder in your .minecraft. Double click that, or sorry, click it once, click OK, because that means it's selected. Don't touch anything else. Click more options, and I'll show you an easy way to get into there later on. So click more options, and you also want to, I usually put mine, if I'm playing modded Minecraft, I'll usually put it above 2, anything above 2, so I put it 4. So that G means gigabytes. So what you can do is you can go to your start menu. You can't see this because I'm on the second screen. Click documents on Windows 10. Give me a sec, I'll just drag this over. Okay, so right click computer, properties, and this shows you exactly how much RAM you've got installed. So for example, I've got 16, so I'm not going to put all 16 into Minecraft because it's just not needed at all. So I've got 16, so I'll put 4. So 4 is plenty. 4 is plenty. So once you put 4 in, click create. Got the test folder here. I click just double checking everything's fine. Click save. Now what you have to do is you always have to run your file. So what I can do here as well, go to %app.percent, and that allows you to go to your .minecraft, which is where all of your Minecraft folders, files and everything is stored. Go to your folder that you created, and that launches up. That's launching up all the files that your Minecraft needs to work. So I'm on 1.15 now, so I can go to options, disable the sound. You always have to do that, no matter what you do. Always have to load up a clean version, quick game, because that's done now. Now, if I drag this over, this is where you'll get all your mods. I'll leave all of the links to everything in the description, so you can follow along with me. So, for example, I'm going to be using 1.15, so go to 1.15.2. Do not download any other versions besides the one that you're using. Okay, so if for whatever reason recommended is not there, you can use latest, although latest can be buggy, which is why it's got a symbol, picture of a little bug next to it, because it might be buggy, might be an alpha version, might be a test version, whatever. Okay, so click installer, skip. So this is the install file, click save file. I can go right click, sorry, I can go to my downloads, Forge, that's fine. So that brings up this box here. This box is exactly what you need to open, so that's exactly where it's going to be loaded to, so that's fine, don't need to click anything there, click OK. So once I've clicked OK, that's putting all of the files that I'll need in here. Not specifically, but it will be. Will be in a few minutes anyway. So don't do anything while this is launching. That's generating all the files. Once that box shows up, click OK. Now that's in there now. Okay, so I'm gonna close this, reopen it. Oh yeah, something I didn't mention earlier, make sure that your game is closed. Everything needs to be closed. Your launch is not a big thing with it, it needs to be closed or not, but your game definitely does. Every time I install Forge, or every time anyone installs Forge, that'll always click a new profile. That'll always make a new profile. What I tend to do is not use it. Not use it because I don't know where it's installed to, don't know where any of the files are or anything, and I'd rather not mess around with it. So I just click on the three dots, delete. Are you sure? Yes. So I go to the profile that I installed, click edit. I wanted Forge version 1.15, which is there. Sometimes it might be all the way at the bottom, depending on what version you installed. Sometimes it might be all the way at the top. But in this case, it's at the top. Okay. So click Forge. Everything's correct. Click Save. Go to Play. Make sure that you've clicked on the right profile. Play. Play. Okay. So once that's done, is that's install all of the right folders that you'll need for your Forge to work. That might take a few minutes, and that's fine. That was completely fine. Everything's loading as it should be. Okay, so while that's launching, what you can do is go to CaseForge, and this is where you get your mods. I wouldn't suggest going anywhere else. If you have installed mods and you're unsure where to install mods, always go to CaseForge. CaseForge is a trusted website, and CaseForge is also linked to Twitch, and Twitch is also linked to Amazon. And obviously everyone knows that Amazon is a trusted website. Okay, so you go to, so whenever you Google CaseForge or you use the link in the description, it'll bring you to here. Once you've gone here, you click Minecraft, because that's a game that I want to mod. By default it'll have selected mod packs. I want mods. What I like to do, if I'm looking for a specific version, you can either search for it, you can go by popularity, name, last updated, etc. Total downloads if you want to see all the popular ones. What I like to do if I'm running a specific version, I'll go to all versions. I go to the version, the exact version that I want. You can go all the way down to the very first update for Minecraft, but in this case I'm using 1.15, so I'll go to 1.15.2. Now I want to install just enough items, or journey map, whatever. I'd suggest everyone installs just enough items, because just enough items is a mod that allows you to see all of the recipes and everything that you'll need for whenever you install a mod, so you cannot be confused about anything. Okay, and all your information and everything will be listed in this section for the description, which is here. And if for whatever reason you need to see what the mod does, it's always in description. See images about it to make sure that you've clicked the right version, click the right mod that you want. You can always see the images there. So you want to install the mod itself. So go to Files. I ignore everything on this page and I always go to View All, because then I can never be I can be 100% correct in what I'm clicking on. Game version, I want 1.15.2 because that's the version that I'll be loading. No mods from previous or more up-to-date versions will work on other versions. So for example, if I'm running 1.15.2, 1.14 mods will not work on 1.15.2, and 1.16 mods will not work on 1.15.2. Or for example, if I'm on 1.16, previous versions like 1.15 and below will not work. So because I'm on 1.15, I have to use 1.15.2 mods no matter what. I tend to use the latest version, and if for example I launch up and I've got an incompatibility error for whatever reason, because certain mods might require certain versions, all of the versions, everything you'll need is on this page pretty much. So I want to use the latest version. The latest version is always at the top, not all the time, but 9 times out of 10 it's at the top. So go to download. That'll take a few seconds. That's completely fine. Everything's working as it should be. Download. Save file. So that's working. You always have to launch up Minecraft and make sure everything's working. You can't just click and drag mods into your mods folder unless you've got the basic files loaded up, and some of those basic files only load up once you've installed Forge and then you've actually run the game to make sure that this is all working. So 2 mods by default, that's fine. Sometimes you'll get 3, sometimes you'll get 4, sometimes you'll get 5. By default you should have 2, 3 or 4, depends on what version you're launching. So for example, if I launch up 1.12, I might have 4 mods by default. That's completely fine. So once I've launched that up and that's working, click Quick Game. Now I'm in Roman, so Minecraft. The exact version that I'm using, mods, which is exactly where you drag your mods into. Downloads, click and drag the file into downloads. And I also want to launch up Optifine as well. This is another needs must mod. I think every mod pack has Optifine. I don't know any mod packs that don't. And you can also see the features of what it does. So what Optifine does in a nutshell, boosts your FPS, and it has other features, but it allows your game to run faster and more efficiently than it should do. And it also has dynamic lights, and I don't know anyone who doesn't want dynamic lights on, unless your computer can't handle them for whatever reason. Okay, so once I've done that, I'll leave this in the description as well, Optifine, downloads. Now this will launch up here. This is just the latest. This is always the latest. See here, 1.16, I don't want 1.16, so I go to show all versions. Just go all the way down, preview versions. So if I want to see whatever's changed, I can always click change log. You won't need to see anything, but if you're getting a bug or an error, sometimes checking the change log to make sure that that bug or error is fixed can be helpful. If for whatever reason this download button isn't working, you've got the mirror of the download button. All that mirror does is if that button's not working, you can use the secondary, and that'll might take you to a different website or a different download section. So this is working, so I'm going to click download, skip. That takes you to here, download, save file. That's saved in my downloads. Click and drag it into my mods folder. Go into your Minecraft launcher, click play. Oh, just as a side note, can't remember whether I said this before in the video, but CurseForge is the only website you should be downloading mods from. If you've downloaded a mod from another website, I highly suggest deleting it from your computer and running a virus scan just to be extra safe. Make sure that everything's working as it should be. Do not use 9Minecraft, do not use any other website besides the ones that I've linked in the description, because then you know exactly everything's as it should be. Go to options, video settings, dynamic lights is there. I'm going to turn my brightness up. Dynamic light, you'll see Optifine's running there, and you'll also see, because you'll see dynamic lights. If I click done, and if I go into my mods folder, sometimes you'll have a config button. Now what you can do, for an example, sometimes it'll allow you to edit settings. So what you can do is you can click mods, click on the mod that you want to edit, click config, or you can click mods, open mods folder as well. That'll also bring you to the exact folder where your mods are stored. That's another way of getting there as well. And if you want to edit anything, sometimes there's a config button that will be highlighted and you can click it and change options, and it'll tell you exactly what you're changing. But if for whatever reason you don't know what you're changing, don't touch it. Okay, so you go to single player. Oh, just as a side note as well, Optifine's not there. That's why I went into video settings and it's there. Might not always be there, but it'll be there. Okay, so if I go to create new world, doesn't matter what options I'm selecting. Create new world. This will be launching now. Shouldn't take too long. Depending on how many mods you've got in your mods folder, depends on how long the game will take to load. So I downloaded Iron Chests while I was off screen, to show you an example of the things that you can do with JI and why JI is important for mod packs and all the rest of it. So if I click E, this will bring up my inventory. Obviously you can say JI on the right. And say for example you download 30 mods and you're trying to look for the specific item. Searching through is quite annoying, especially if you don't know where the chests are. Now I know, for example, the Iron Chests mod is on the 15th page, but that might move depending on how many mods I've got. I could have 200 pages. So what you can do, so if I go to page 1, I don't know where it is. I want to look for an enchantment table, so I can type in enchantment table or enchant, and I'll bring up everything to do with enchant. So if I want that specific item, I can type in, don't know what it is, enchanting table. I can type in the exact name of the item that I'm searching for, left click on it, and I'll bring up the recipe. Now, if I don't know how to make a book, for example, I can also right click and I'll bring up all the recipes of how to do with books or whatever I'm clicking on. Another tip that you can use is, say for example, I've got 2 mods that have got iron in the name. So I might have iron backpacks and I might have iron chests. So what I can do is I can type in @ and that takes that basically specifies the exact thing that you want to search for. So I don't know, so if I type in iron right now, that'll just bring up everything to do with iron. But say for example I've downloaded a mod and I've got 4 or 5 mods that are to do with iron. I want only the Iron Chests mod to show up. So I can type in @ iron space chests, and it'll show up all of the iron chests here. What the heck was that? I just seen something. I think that was a dolphin. But yeah, I can search exactly what I want in here. Okay, so that's how to install Forge, how to get Optifine on, and if you click F3 as well, that's another indicator whether Optifine's on. Because maybe it's in another version, but sometimes you can see Optifine is installed in the top left as well, and you can also see what version you're running on as well, in case you ever install a mod pack and you want to know. Okay, thanks for watching. I'm gonna be going through mod showcases and doing other things in the future, but I hope you enjoyed. Hope this helped, and if you've got any queries or questions, feel free to leave them in the description below, and hopefully I can answer them. But yeah, besides that, thanks for watching, and see you in the future.